The first thing to say is, my type of journalism for 25 years at The Economist, and now, I suppose, is always a question of asking myself three questions. First is, why is something happening? Second is, what does it all mean? And the third is, where is it going to go next? And of course, I've kept on trying to apply that to Italy, this country, your country, that I've become strangely in love with and seduced by in recent years. Why is Renzi Prime Minister? That's, in a way, a first question that maybe one needs to ask oneself. Then what does it all mean? And then where is it going to go? And one of the difficulties, I think, in journalism about Italian politics is that there's so much noise, so much activity, but so difficult to work out where is it actually going, what is actually being achieved, where is it actually going to create something new. The why of Renzi you know better than I do. I think you can just simply say that, in a way, Italian voters, or the PD particularly, and the voters for the PD, ran out of excuses for not electing Matteo Renzi, since he had made himself, in a way, irresistible, at least to give him a try. And I think the experience with Mario Monti and then Enrico Letta perhaps led to this situation. But what does it all mean and where is it going to go is much harder. I think Renzi clearly has made a political success in the European elections and has built up a kind of momentum, but has so far achieved almost nothing. And if I was writing evaluations of what he's doing if I was still working for The Economist, I would be still asking questions about what is he really capable of doing in this government, with this parliamentary situation, and what is really his game against the forces that are against him, of resistance and who want to have an alternative agenda. He hasn't passed an electoral law. He hasn't reformed the Senate. He hasn't done anything in labor markets. Yesterday, he produced an outline for justice reform, but it's only just aspirations. So what has he actually achieved? I think that the one thing, importantly, that he's achieved, from my point of view as an outsider, is that he's made it quite convincing that he is going to be Prime Minister for some time. That the most likely probability is that if there was a general election, he would be re-elected, and then that he would be in office for some time. I don't know how long, but this is important because so much of the forces of resistance to change of the sort that he stands for are basically forces that think that they can play for time, because change makers will come and change makers will go, and then anda passa annutata, the night will pass and he will be gone. So the first thing he does have to convince people is that he's actually going to be there, and they're going to have to put up with him for quite a long time. He hasn't made that certain, because he can't make that certain until he has a general election. But he's made it likely. If I was Silvio Berlusconi, or God forbid, if I was Silvio Berlusconi, but if I was Silvio Berlusconi or Alfano or Grillo, I would be reckoning that it'd be better to wait before I face an election, to give Renzi some time to fail. And so I think there's going to be a kind of contest about when the general election can be. And my bet is that it's early next year, after the Italian presidency of the European Union because Renzi is going to need to get that mandate while he's still fresh and full of potential, rather than someone who has managed to make people criticize him and dislike him. But still, he's all potential and not actual right now. So that I think from a journalistic point of view, he's difficult to make real. From my point of view, I mean, I said, what I was doing for 25 years at The Economist, and now as a book writer and involved with films. I think in many ways this is, of course, what Internazionale is also now trying to do, and I think what all journalism in this era needs to do, which is to be much more about analysis, much less about information. But I think one problem of modern journalism is that it mistakes opinion for analysis. So I've just given you my opinion, but actually I shouldn't be writing that strongly. If I was in The Economist, I should be offering more analysis about what will happen and how to understand what's going on, rather than offering the opinion of me about what should be done or what will be done. We've become too personality-oriented in journalism, for my taste. Maybe we are behaving like politicians and wanting activity and our sound bites to be more entertaining and interesting than our analysis. But I think if we ask ourselves, why should somebody pay to read what I want to say? Why should anybody pay me to do what they could do themselves by going online and looking at the facts? The answer has to lie in understanding and analysis and assembling the facts and providing an analysis, rather than simply giving them an opinion about what Bill Emmott thinks.